But Shea Willingham, he's there too. And he's like, there's no sign of Toretto here, Brian. You expect him to be here? He's like, oh, he's here. We just can't see him. He's making sure that we can't see him. And we see fucking Vin Diesel, like, literally go, Letty. He's like peeking behind a tree like, Letty. He's so sad. Hello, I just wanted to thank you for clicking on my video, and I wanted to let you know not only do I create content on my YouTube channel here, Class in a Glass, but I'm also on Twitch where I play single-player games, multiplayer games, I do movie reviews, cartoon reviews, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Also, it would be a big help if you can check out my Patreon where you can gain access to audio commentaries, reactions, and the ability to submit questions for my podcasts and videocasts. And all that content can be found in the links below. In the meantime, enjoy the video. Let's go ahead and get to this review of Fast and Furious, chat. My scene by scene breakdown, chat. Not the Fast and the Furious. Common mistake actually happened here on stream tonight. People are like, wait, you review this movie? It's like, no. They just took out the thes. It's just Fast and Furious, chat. 4, technically, 2009, Fast and Furious 2000. Wait, what do you want to consider it, chat? What do you want to consider? Doing a review for this fine film. Now, chat, before we go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty details, I have a very important question to ask you, and that is, how many of you have seen Fast and Furious 4, 2009? Curious about this, chat. The movie's a little over 10 years old now, chat. Nearly 12 years old. Kill it and make sure he's dead. I gotta. He keeps coming back, chat. Won't stay down. I gotta double tap. Boom, boom. Now he smells. Of course they haven't. Brad Carrison, I saw Valkyria. It's reverse James Gunn, adding the yes, exactly. Adding the to a Suicide Squad. Sometimes you add it, sometimes you take it away. Very true. Now, you know, the is in vogue now, chat. The Batman. The Suicide Squad. People like that. Oh, actually, I've not seen it. What happened? Wait, I remember now. The iguana. Oh, and the return of a villain from the first film. The Fast and Furious movies, I personally feel this is the most that happened movie in the series. Like, it's nothing special. It's just there. It happened. Yeah, that's interesting. Because I want to talk about kind of like the reaction to this film by the critics. They hated it, but the fan base in general and audiences in general. Because I have an opinion on it. Took away thes to make it faster. Indeed, yeah, say it faster. You're right. DDR saw bits and pieces. Janet says, hell yes, welcome. Janet, hope you're doing very well. Edge Berserker, I think I have, but these movies start to blend. Fair enough. Bilba, after one, I can't tell which is which. Ooh, nah. I never seen any Fast movies. Interesting. This is good. Blackstone, welcome to stream. Greetings and salutations. I started at F5 and The Rock showed up. Nice. Let's go and start with. Fast 5 is when the series went, okay, fucking let's jump the fucking shark. Let's go crazy. Gravity and logic mean. Logic already didn't mean anything. But gravity's like, get the fuck out of here, gravity. You don't apply to the Fast and Furious family. You start to know as gravity's starting to like wane. Logic left a long time ago. But gravity still kind of like has its moments. Like, no, there's consequences. There's consequences for what you're doing. But it's kind of like sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's back and forth. Fast 5, left in the fucking dust. Here, but essential thing with my base fly. I'm leaving it too damn hot in here. That's fair. I hope so. Oh, play some. Yeah, Ratchet and Clank. Yeah. I will be playing Ratchet and Clank after I finish Mass Effect 2. Now, but raise your hands. Wait, give me a summary of your Batman mouth off. I will do that. Thank you for the 3 biddies. Jet, I think 100 biddies. 1 day closer apart. Yes, Jet, absolutely. 1 day closer. It's gonna happen, Jana. Cheers and salute to your support. Thank you for 100 biddies. I will do a brief recap of the Batman mouth love thing. So, it came out, chat. One of the creators of Harley Quinn, one of the producers in the show, revealed that they have to exercise a scene from season 3 where Batman is giving fellatio, giving the mouth sex, chat, going down on Catwoman, and DC said, heroes don't do that, and I'm like, that's a fucking selfish lover, Batman is selfish, and it's like, and I basically, my whole thing was, the whole gist of the conversation is that our culture, Western culture, American culture in general, has this mindset that sex is like the most taboo thing out there, that they're like, no, you're showing two people making love. Think of the children, as you guys said, clutching pearls. But we'll gladly show people murdering and slaughtering each other and blowing their heads up, blowing in a violent way, not a sexual way. And we'll put that on fucking television. No one says anything about it. And it's fucking ridiculous. I always go back to George Carlin with this great quote. Comedian George Carlin, rest in peace. It's like, he'd rather show his son or daughter, two people making love, than two people killing each other. It's like, yeah. Absolutely agree. Fucking nuts and bizarre. And Batman should go down in Catwoman chat. He's got, how many of his fucking girlfriends and significant others have died? At least he can, pleasure them, God damn it, chat. Selfish. Absolutely selfish. That's kind of my opinion on that. That's the recap. That's the truncated version. Batman can't fuck, but having him pull a gun and kill people is A-okay. A-okay. Agreed. Mordecai thinking about it. Shit, there's a little compound where Green Arrow was given Black Arrow the good. God, well, hey. Green Arrow. Very progressive hero. Very progressive hero. That's true. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nia Brownie. But, chat, so most of you, well, this is good. This is good grouping, chat, because some of you have seen this movie. Some of you have, like, bits and pieces, and some of you have not. I like that, chat. I like that. I can get away with certain things. How I explain them. I saw this film in theaters, and to me, like, the reaction to this movie is, I think it's polarizing. Like, critics hated it. It didn't do very well critically. And it performed very well. I think at this point, it was the highest grossing entry in the franchise, because Tokyo Drift, each movie started to lose money. I mean, the first one, which was a critical, it was a commercial success, and it got mediocre reviews, but it was a commercial success. 2, made money, but didn't make as much as the original one. And 3, again, I think made like nearly half what the original film made. And so they kept losing money. And this is the one where they bring back a lot of the original cast from the first film, chat. Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Jordana Brewster, Paul Walker, chat, as all their respective characters. And but despite that, it's kind of viewed as the middle child of the franchise, where it's never ranked in like everyone's top 3 or something, but it's never like ranked at the absolute bottom. It's kind of like that forgotten one, because really it's a movie that I think is trying to figure out what its trajectory is going to be from here. Because you had Fast and Furious 1, 2, and 3, relatively grounded films, and this is the film that came in here. It's like, we want to turn this more into not a car racing franchise, where it's about the cars. We're thinking of rebranding this as an action franchise, but still a lot of car stuff happens in this movie, and you could see it's like kind of fighting with itself, where it's like, we're still grounded, but we're still we have over the top, really big over the top scenes, and it's like, it doesn't know what direction it wants to go in, chat, until finally it fucking jumps the shark. It's like, all right, we're embracing it, like, at the end. And then when we get to Fast 5, chat, Fast 5 is really when the franchise is how it is now. That movie. Now, for other people, a lot of people, that's their favorite. It's probably my favorite. It's either that or 7. That's the one where it's like, okay, we are embracing the ridiculousness. We're embracing the whole concept of the bro, vroom, vroom family. And this one is kind of like, it's on the edge. It's on the cusp. You can sense it. It's there, Che. You feel it in the air. And I have to be honest with you. It was always, kind of the middling one. But after watching this again, I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. Like, it's not without its faults. I mean, there was like a weird plot twist in the movies. Like, that's a plot twist? Really? And it's kind of lame. Strangers Think of the Five Biddies. So this is the Jamboree, the Fast and Furious movie. Sure. If you want to make that comparison, sure. Thank you. And also, thank you to Alex Bernal, YouTube editor extraordinary Alex Bernal. Thank you for the host. Hope you're doing very well, good sir. But yeah, I liked it. Like, honestly, I think this is, man, if I'm going to do my ranking chat, this is probably the second best one. Like, Fast and Furious 1, I still would maybe rank a little bit higher than this movie. But at the same time, it's like, I think this is definitely better than Too Fast, Too Furious, and better than Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. Like, I like the movie. Now, I don't know where it would be later on in my rankings, but I like this. I mean, I thought it was, again, and I'll tell you what, chat, it's the things that really bothered me about Too Fast, Too Furious, and Tokyo Drift. Thank you, Luke Boss, for the 2 biddies. Appreciate that. I've not seen this, but I'm sure you will regale us with the story of this cinematic masterpiece. Hey, you're being facetious, but there's some fun stuff in this film. And one of the things I'll bring up right now, like the chemistry's on point. Like one of my biggest criticisms of Too Fast, Too Furious is that there was no chemistry between Paul Walker and Tyrese Gibson. I imagine that, again, it's been a while. I think that changes as the series goes on. And when they have more, I think when the writing, at least the dialogue between them is a little bit better. We can say what you will about the story. But you know, in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift, you know, Han was great. I mean, Han, like every time he was in the scene, I was interested in. It was like it was very fun. But Lucas Black, I mean, he can barely hold a conversation together. But it was like those two movies, like the chemistry was not there. I did not feel like these guys were friends or that they were family. Chat, bro, vroom, family. And I feel too bad the bar's so low and it's tripping hazard. Very true, Josh. Very true, Josh. Very true. But what I liked about the original film was that there was a lot of chemistry, and you bought into the relationship between Paul Walker and Vin Diesel, and I think that's working in very well here in this movie. It's like, oh, you see it. It's like, I like having these two in the same scene together. They bounce off each other well. Whereas like Paul Walker and Tyrese Gibson, that fucking dynamics is not working. But this one, it does. There's something about it. And even Paul Walker, you say what you will about him, you know, when he was, you know, as an actor, you know, he wasn't the strongest actor in the world, but this was his franchise, and he works well with a number of the people in it. And he has that sexual chemistry with Jordana Brewster. It's like, yeah, I want to see these two fuck. You buy into that. They actually think of it, which one's the one they pull a giant Volvo car? That's 5. That's when they're like, all right, fuck it. Logic, you go out the window. Gravity, you go out the goddamn window. Forget it. I mean, logic is ridiculous in this movie, but that's when gravity no longer applies. That's what gravity kind of is. It wafts back and forth. Like sometimes it applies and sometimes it doesn't. After 5 hits, boom, gravity, get the fuck out of here. You're done. But who do you want to see fuck? Paul Walker or Jordana Brewster? Like, I buy into their chemistry. Like, the chemistry between, even though she's not in the movie that much, Michelle Rodriguez and Vin Diesel is good. And it's like, I like these characters when they're together. And that was the thing that was missing from all these other movies. After that came after the first one. And that's why it's like, this movie has problems. We're going to get into it. Like, the more I think about the villains, it's like, man, these villains fucking suck. But the family, having the family come back, having those original actors come back, and there's some excitement. Like, I told you guys, when they had that which was not originally planned in the Tokyo Drift, that stuff the scene they had with Vin Diesel, which came after principal photography because test screens were so bad, and they brought him back. You get excited seeing him in Tokyo Drift. It's like, oh shit, here he is. I love it. And the reference to Han being part of the family. It's like, okay, this is cool. And then you see them coming back here, and where they've been. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of digging this. I'm like, I had fun with this movie, chat. I don't know what to tell you. There is some ridiculous shit. There's some unintentionally funny shit. And there's some very, very intentional funny stuff. But, chat, overall, I'm going to tell you right now, don't hate this movie. If I had to rank them, I mean, we'll go into more detail as I get into the review. Into the spoiler review section. But at the moment, chat, I think this is a very solid second place film. I had fun with this, chat. I had a lot of fun with this. But, my friends, let's go ahead and get into the proper scene by scene breakdown, chat. And Dom, Letty, they're back, baby. But they're not alone. They may be in the Dominican Republic, chat. They may no longer be able to go back to the United States of America, chat. They're outlaws. They're wanted criminals. This is their fucking Wild West. But they're not alone, chat. Nah. Because you know who else they fucking had with them, chat? Han. Yes, Han. Yes, we did see him die in Tokyo Drift. He fucking exploded. He fucking exploded. Bro, fam, back. Thank you. We got a new follower here, chat. Crimson Knight, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well, Crimson Knight. Just in the middle, just started my review. My scene by scene breakdown for Fast and Furious 4, 2009, whatever you want to call it. That one. Welcome. But they have fucking Han, chat, because as we know, at the end of Tokyo Drift, when fucking Bow Wow goes up to Lucas Black and says, hey, DK, there's this guy here that wants to talk to the Drift King. And, fucking Lucas Black's like, not tonight, I don't want to talk to him. He says he knew Han, said Han was family. And fucking Lucas Black's like, what? And it's like, whoa, Han knew fucking Dom? Well, we got to know about that. And here it is, chat. This is a prequel, takes place before the events of Tokyo Drift. Obviously, because he's fucking alive. He's walking around and shit. But we got fucking Han here, chat. And we also have 2 brothers who just argue the whole time. We have two Dominican Republic brothers. I don't know what their names are, chat. I know they're in other movies in the franchise, but all they do is argue. That's it. And they speak Spanish, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. But they're pulling off a fucking heist, chat. They're going for more Panasonic TV, DVD, VHS combination players. Actually not. They're like, it's 2009, or I don't know what. Again, I have no fucking idea what year this movie takes place in. I know these all take place before Tokyo Drift, but Tokyo Drift came out in 2006, but the technology they're using is obviously post-2006. Again, chat, Logic. Logic is the enemy, is the ultimate villain of Fast and Furious. Maybe Gravity. Gravity might take it, but I would say Logic still is the ultimate villain. I have no fucking idea. Now you think of the biddy, Chris. Speak American. Speak American, goddammit. Don! With the 10 gifted subs. Pause the review. We got to bask in the love and serenation. Thank you, Don. But now, my friends, we can get to tonight's review. Get back to my scene by scene breakdown of Fast and Furious 4, 2009, whatever you want to call it, chat. But, chat, it opens up. We're in the Dominican Republic, and fucking Vin Diesel, Dom Toretto, he's with his lady love, chat, Letty, played by Michelle Rodriguez. And now they're not only alone, they're not alone at all. They are joined by Han, who is previously established to have been a part of the family at some point. Maybe this was the inception point, chat. I mean, when fucking Dominic Toretto and Letty, they went on the goddamn run all those years ago, chat, after Brian O'Connor got involved, exposed their whole, DVD/VHS combination stealing racket. Maybe that's when he met up with Han, chat. And he also has two Dominican Republic brothers who all they do is argue. That's all they do, chat. But they're up to their old shenanigans, chat, because they're going after a truck, chat. But this one does not have Panasonic TVs with combination DVD VHS players, chat. No. This one has that liquid gold, chat, that oil, all those dead dinosaurs. Here it is, chat, the connection to Jurassic Park, because they were fucking shipping all this shit to InGen, probably, chat, to clone more fucking dinosaurs with that dino DNA. There it is. Here's the inception point, chat. I'm telling you, they're gonna do a fucking flashback. When they do that inevitable Fast and Furious / Jurassic Park crossover, you'll find out this was the fucking truck. This is what they were delivering, chat. They weren't just stealing oil. They were trying to steal that dino DNA. They trying to do what Dennis Nedry couldn't do, what Wayne Knight couldn't do, chat, when he got eaten by a fucking Dilophosaurus. Remember that shit? It was crazy, chat. But they're doing their old shenanigans shit where they're moving up on this fucking truck. And who's this guy who's driving the truck, chat? The same exact truck driver from the Fast and the Furious, who, in my opinion, was the main villain of that movie, chat. And for whatever reason, these fucking truck drivers, they, again, like the policy in like real life is, if you're getting robbed, if there's someone coming up on you, they got fucking guns, you're supposed to fucking pull to the side of the road, park, and like, all right, take it. You're not supposed to endanger yourself or the lives of others. But all these fucking truck drivers in this movies, they're always fucking packing heat and shit, chat. And this truck driver, I know it's the same fucking guy. He's like, because he even says, these motherfuckers again. I was like, oh, it's him. It's the same guy. And it was amazing. But we have Vin Diesel. He's driving his goddamn American muscle car. He's got Letty right in there. And he's like, I love you, Letty. And she's like, damn, I love you too. And they smooch. And like, Han, my bro, make sure to back us up. He's like, you got it. And he talks to the two brothers, but they're fucking arguing in Spanish. I don't know what the hell they're saying. I was like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. But Letty, she jumps on the fucking truck, chat, and she has like this backpack. She's got this backpack with like ice, and it's a cryo. She's got Mr. Freeze technology, chat. She has a cryo gun. She's a freeze gun. And this is what they do. Because Han, he fucking Han's such a badass, chat. Not snacking. I think he had like maybe a little couple of peanuts. Went, oh fucking shit. And he swerves his car around, right, and he backs up into the truck, because this truck has like multiple rigs of like multiple like oil canisters on it. And so he backs up, chat, and like Letty, she takes the Mr. Freeze gun and she freezes it and she hits it with a hammer. And they attach it to Han's truck, and he fucking speeds away. He's fucking okay. They got some of that dino DNA, chat. And now they can wait for the brothers. At this point, fucking the truck driver, by the way, I love that they give the truck driver an iguana, which he constantly feeds candy bars. It's like, oh, it's so cute. But he sees fucking Letty on his truck. He's like, I remember you. But he's not packing that classic sawed-off double-barrel shotgun, Chad. No. He's got like, this ease of access. So he's picked himself like a pistol. He's got like an M911 or something, or M1911. That's what he has. And he's fucking dumb. He's like, I remember you, you bald bastard. And he starts shooting. He immediately starts shooting on the truck. And Letty's like, oh, fucking shit. And so at one point, the two brothers who are finally stopped arguing, they get their truck and back one of these giant oil canisters, chat, right? They're hooked up. But Letty, because the guy is shooting out the fucking window and bullets are going everywhere, she drops the hammer. She's like, Dom, I dropped the hammer. And Dom's like, don't worry about it, Letty. Just use the Mr. Freeze gun. So she fucking uses the Mr. Freeze gun. And Dom uses his car and he nudges into the oil canister, hits the fucking lock of it, shatters, because it was cryo-frozen, and the two brothers, they take off with the other canister, the big old barrel of dino DNA. But at this point, the truck driver's like, fuck this. I'm going to kill these motherfuckers. All right? I remember you from the first movie. And so he's pulling off all these fucking moves, trying to throw Letty off of the last two barrels off of his truck. And Dom, he's trying to roll up to her, trying to grab her at this point. But the guy, he keeps shooting. He keeps fucking reloading shit. He's got infinite ammo. He's got that glitch. And he keeps shooting out his car at Dom. And at this point, it's like, oh, shit, this is just not good. This is not good. But then eventually they're coming up on this. Like, there's some of the Dominican Republic where they have no fucking barriers or no guardrails or nothing. And the truck driver, he's going super fucking fast, shit. Like, if he stops immediately, it causes a massive wreck. And he's coming up on a super fucking sharp turn, which you're supposed to, like, literally drive, like, 15 miles per hour around. And he's, like, hitting 100 at this point. So he's like, there's no way he can stop. And he's like, oh, fucking shit. And at this point, he's like, oh, they've defeated me. And he grabs his iguana pet shit. He grabs his iguana and his candy bars. He goes, ah! And he jumps out of the fucking truck, chat, with Letty still on it. And Letty eventually, she jumps. Like, this is when it's like, okay, reality's still, like, okay, so far, it's like, it's grounded at this point. But then Letty, she jumps onto it. Oh, by the way, I love the guys actually shooting at them, like, when she's still on the hood of the car and shit, as it's still going. But Dom, he moves ahead of the truck. But the thing is, though, the guy abandons the truck, and it starts, like, turning fucking weird, and the two barrels detach, and they start exploding, and fucking Dom's like, ooh, and he's in front of the barrels, Chad, at one point. And if he can't go off the side of the road, because that's what happens. One of the barrels gets ahead of them, crashes, and it's like, oh shit, and it's like blocked there. It's leaking all this oil. It hasn't exploded yet, but it's like leaking a shit ton of like dino DNA. And the other one, which apparently cannot stop, because gravity said, all right, I'm gonna take a fucking day off today. And this flaming giant barrel, chat, this truck-sized barrel of dino liquid gold DNA is coming right at Dom. Like, if it hits them, they all explode. And Letty's like, Dom, what are you gonna do? He's like, don't worry, I got it. And he just goes directly at it, Chad. He knows the timing. He's perfected it, Chad. Because not only is Dom a fucking expert mechanic, Chad, not only is he one of the best racers, if not the best racer in the world, he's also a master, chat. He has his PhD in physics, and he predicted the fucking bounces, and he managed to predict one bounce, and boom, and he slides, he gets right under a chat, while the fucking flaming barrel of Dino Duty goes, wow, and a big explosion, and you see like a mushroom cloud. It's like, whoa, and he fucking rides off, and Letty's like, oh my god, damn, we gotta have sex, and they proceed to have copious amounts of car sex shit. So that's when the bullshit will start. It kind of is. Again, it goes back and forth because Letty is like, because they're like jumping off of shit in the in like at 5 on, like you, that would hurt you about how far you jumped. This one, like Letty was struggling to jump like from like one car. It's kind of like it's in between like Fast and Furious 1 logic and Fast 5 logic. It's always constantly it's a give and pull throughout the entire movie about what it wants to be. But then, Chad, we cut to their, I don't know, their little domicile. Is that a fucking flight? The fly. The fly. We cut to their little domicile, Chad, this little town, and they sold all the Dio DNA to for Dotson. Dotson's here. They sold it to Dotson, chat, and he's giving everyone their cut. And Han looks at his cut, and doesn't look pleased. And Vin Diesel's like, bro. And then he also gives the cut to the other brothers, and they were arguing like, your cut looks bigger than mine. Then they're gone for most of the movie. That's the last time we really see him. until the very end. And then Dom, he goes up to Han. He's like, Han, what's wrong, man? And he's the money. He's like, no, it's not the money, man. It's never about the money, Dom. No, man. I know. Listen, this helps. No, but no, they hit our fucking warehouse. They took all of our cars. They took all the rest of our stash. It's the Dominican police. And Dom's like, no, shit, man. That's not good, Han. No, it's not. And the heat's coming down on us, man. He's like, no, he's not coming down on you, Han. It's me. I'm like an albatross around your neck. I mean, if you got to get out of here, I understand, okay? I want my family. I want to make sure my family is safe. And Han's like, well, I have been thinking about going to Tokyo. No, Han, no, if you go to Tokyo, you'll die. Maybe not. You'll get fucked up, though. And he's like, you got to do what you got to do, brother, okay? I always have your back, Han. I already have your back, Dom. He's like, bro. No, family, vroom. And they fucking do the bro fist, and it's like, yes. And Han leaves. And Han's gone. Han doesn't show up for the rest of the movie. He's gone for the rest of it. He comes back in 5. I thought he was in it a lot longer, but he was not. I totally forgot. I've not seen this movie in over 10 years. So I was like, oh, shit, yeah, this is it. Then Dom, he sees Letty sitting on the beach, and he's like, Letty, what's wrong? And she's like, Dom, it's never ending. This whole life, always running. He's like, you know, we can't go back to the United States. They're coming after me. And she's like, I know, I love you so much, and you're so hard on yourself, okay? And this is like the part, this is fucking hilarious, where Vin Diesel is a fine actor. He's a good actor. But the way they have him playing this character, he's like he's trying to emote based on everything Michelle Rodriguez is telling him. And it just looks like he's constipated. It's like he's like he's working on a poop that just won't come out of him, chat. It's like nothing. It's just nothing. He's just filled with that toxic poop and nothing's coming out. And Letty's like, Dom, I love you. And she's like, you are my family. And then he's like, oh. And then she just fucking gets on top of him, and they just start making love on the beach. It's like, whoa, it's hot. It's very hot, chat. And then we cut to their very lovely looking home in the Dominican Republic, chat. Beachside, beautiful, just very nice. It's small, but it looks great. It's filled with all sorts of knickknacks and shit. And it's like, beautiful home. They have all the fucking windows open, which I'm like, I don't believe this bullshit for a second. It's fucking hot out there. It's like 100% humidity, 90 plus degrees, and then 100. You're in the Caribbean. Bullshit. You need central AC or you will die. But she's sleeping on the bed, chat, and we see that Dom looks like apparently they made love vigorously, because she is fucking knocked out. Letty is not. She's not batting an eye. She's zoinked out. She's zonked out, chat. And Dom, he's packing up this backpack, and he puts it on. He goes, goodbye, bro. And he leaves, shit. He leaves, and we see all this fucking money on the dresser and his cross and that fucking diamond cross he always has, chat. And he puts it on there. It's like, oh no, Dom has left Letty. He loves her so much, and he doesn't want to endanger her, chat. It's like he wants her to go home and live her life. And he's like Han. He said, Han, I'm like an albatross. I'm like a albatross on you, Letty. It's too much. Thank you, Doug, for the 15 minutes. Get AC or end up like you said. You end up like me. You end up like me, chat. But down, chat, we do a hard fucking cut, and we're following FBI agent Brian O'Connor, chat. All right, he's not with the LAPD anymore. No, ever since the events of Too Fast, Too Furious, which I guess him and Tyrese never opened up that fucking garage. That never came to be. He joined the FBI, chat, and he's chasing down this fucking perp. And this is some good, by the way, the opening action scene, it's a little dated because of the CGI, but it's still fun. It's still a really fun action scene. It was great to see the truck driver from the first one again. I really like that. But we see, there's some good camera work by the cinematographer of this film. We see Paul Walker chasing down this fucking perp in downtown LA. He's going every fucking which way, trying to catch this guy. At one point, they're doing fucking parkour and shit. When we start to see like a lot of parkour stuff. Like, we first noticed it like in movies like Casino Royale, but now it's like, oh shit, now they're doing parkour too. I love it. But this one guy, chat, he's all tatted up and stuff like that. Looks like a gangster, and he grabs himself a gun. Like he brushes by someone, his fucking gun falls out of his pants, and he's like, ah! And he starts shooting into the crowd. And Brian's like, no, the people. Thankfully, no one gets shot. And Brian, he just fucking chases this guy down. He drops kick him, and he literally starts beating him. It's like, where is it? Where's the trigger? You never give it to an ordinary citizen. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. But no, Brian wants to know information on Braga, chat, the biggest drug kingpin since Pablo Escobar, chat. He's pumping all sorts of drugs into these United States of America and Canada, chat. Mexico, he owns it. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, who is this Braga guy? It's heroin, cocaine, the devil's lettuce shit. Anything you want, he's pumping in there. And he's trying to find a connection. He's got to find out where this Braga guy is. And this guy, and Brian punches him so much in the fucking face. And thank you, Christopher, for the 5 biddies. Amir Mokri, and he's really, he's a DB. He did a good job in this movie. He did a very good job. He's punched him so much, he gives him a name. I think it's David, what's his name, Chad? David Paul. David Paul is the name he gives him. And apparently he's a Korean racer. But they got to find out because all he has is a name. There's a lot of David Pauls in LA. And so he goes back and reports to the FBI. We're introduced to his partner, Shea Willingham, who barely functions as partner. Shea Willingham is a great actor, Chad. He's been in a lot of movies. But he is often relegated to playing like the asshole brother or uncle or cousin in all these films. And here he's the asshole police partner or FBI partner. Or Shea Wingham, excuse me. Yeah, Shea Wingham. He's always the asshole. And he's just always making fucking comments. And he's like, well, we got to find, because, Paul Walker, he goes to his boss, which, by the way, very disappointed that they did not bring back the angry black police chief or angry or disappointed black police chief, chat, because he was not angry anymore in Too Fast, Too Furious. He was just disappointed in Brian. He's not back here. It's just some generic white guy or whatever. Brian reports back to his bosses, and he says, we got to find this David Paul guy, or David Park, excuse me. You're right. It's David Park. I messed up my piece. David Park is the guy. And, fucking Shea was like, well, how many, Chinese guys are there named David Park? And we have this other Asian, assistant to Asian FBI agent. She's like, he's actually Korean. And Shea Wingham's like, whatever. It's like, all right, you're an asshole and you're a racist. They go hand in hand, chat. And Brian's like, don't worry, we're going to fucking handle it, okay? We're going to find this guy. We're going to run all these various profiles. We'll get him. And the FBI boss is like, you better, because we have a limited amount of time. We only have 72 hours to get Braga. And we're like, why the truncated time? Why do we have such a slow timetable? Because we spent 2 years on this case. And the higher-ups in the FBI, they want fucking results. And it's like, so does that just mean we're just abandoning the case after this? Is like, all right, I guess he got away. It's like, doesn't make any fucking sense. Yeah, he doesn't come back, neither does Ted. That's a goddamn shame. Ted Levine only in the one movie. At least the angry black police chief came back in the sequel. But at this point, it's like, all right, well, this is what we got to work with. Then, chat, we cut back. And we're with Dom. We're with Dom, and he is now in Mexico. He's in Mexico, and he's got himself a new. But we don't really know how much time has passed in between, when he left Letty. Apparently, it's been a while. It's been quite a while from just kind of how certain scenes happen after this one. So let's say I don't know, fucking a few months, maybe a year. I have no idea. Time in Fast and Furious, it doesn't make any goddamn sense. I don't know what year we're in. I know this takes place before Tokyo Drift, but Tokyo Drift takes place in 2006, but then other people are saying, well, it takes place in 2014, so I don't fucking know. Dark Side of Life is, I don't think time's a factor for federal agents. Exactly. Time means nothing in this franchise in general. You just gotta go with it. Thank you for the 5 minutes, Dark Slayer. Apparently this little kid, this little street kid, he's like, oh, senor, there's a call for you. And Dom's like, from family? He's like, from family. It's like, whoa. And he goes to the payphone chat where apparently Jordana Brewster calls all the time. And she's like, Sister Mia, what's wrong? And she's like, Dom, it's Letty. She's fucking dead. And he's like, oh, Letty's been killed off screen, chat. What the hell happened? What the hell are you talking about? And it's like, oh, okay. And then we cut to LA, and they're already having the funeral for Letty. It's like Jordana Brewster's there, chat. Mia's there. And even Brian O'Connor, he's there, but he's in the background, chat. They're just watching the scene. And this priest is like, Letty, died how she lived. Racing cars. It's like, what are you going to say about this career criminal? But Shea Willingham, he's there too. And he's like, there's no sign of Toretto here, Brian. You expect him to be here? He's like, oh, he's here. We just can't see him. He's making sure that we can't see him. And we see fucking Vin Diesel, literally go, Letty. He's peeking behind a tree, Letty. He's so sad. It's fucking great. It's fucking great. Eventually we cut. And Mia, she's going back home. And I love it because this doesn't make any fucking sense. So we know throughout the entire film, the FBI is watching the house. And just watching LA because Dom, he's not very smart because he's driving the same fucking cars he's always driven throughout his entire life. And so he somehow got back to his house, which is being watched by the FBI, and just fucking walking around the whole time. But Mia sees that her garage is open, and she goes in there, and it's Dom, and Dom just comes out of the fucking shadows. She's like, holy fucking shit. He's like, family. She's like, Dom, and they hug and shit. She's like, you know it's a risk you being here. He's like, you know I had to come here. It's for family. And he's like, what happened? What happened? And it's like, I'll show you. I'll show you the scene. I'll show you what happened, where she died, where they found the body. Now, again, how they just explain away this whole plot point in another movie is fucking ridiculous. But we'll continue on, Chad. We'll continue on. Like, oh yeah, we had a body, we had a funeral, we buried her. But all right. So also Dom notices the car he crashed in the last movie, his dad's car. You know, that classic American muscle car. He sees it there. And it's kind of like it's barely together. It's like it's been put kind of under repairs. And Mia brings up the fact that when Letty came back here and she was working on it the whole time because she knew you would come back. She knew one day you would come back because you want to have the car done ready for you. He's like, I love Letty. She's like, I know. And then we get one of the fucking funniest goddamn scenes in the film, which I love, where they go to the scene of the crash where Letty died, and Vin Diesel just steps out, and he just looks at some tire tracks, like where one of the cars peeled out, and he fucking pulls a Sherlock Holmes, chat. You ever seen, like, Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman, where he literally is able to construct the entire sequence of events and how it all played out by just looking at fucking tire treads on the ground. And it's elementary, bro. And it's amazing. Again, logic, don't use logic. I know, Chad. Logic is the ultimate villain and enemy of these movies. And I just fucking love it. Where he's like, he puts together the whole scene and it plays out. Or we see Letty's car, she's being chased, and her car is hit by another car, and the car starts to tumble, and it goes through him. He's like, ugh. Like he's watching like it's actually happening in front of him. And he becomes, he's like Vision, where it just goes right fucking through him, chat. And he watches as Letty is like, damn. And she's crawling out of the car, all bloodied and shit. And we see this mysterious figure come, like, stops his car, parks it, and, like, walks out and takes out his gun and shoots her in the fucking face. And he sees all of this in perfect clarity. Now, again, Letty comes back in the franchise, so Dom's not the best detective. The game is afoot, bro. He then looks down, because even Jordana Brewster, he is like, what happened? He's like, I understand what happened. I understand how the cars moved in this direction, how she came out, like all of it. And he looks down because he sees like a yellow substance, and he puts his finger in and goes, oh, this is I love it. It's and I'm like, what the fuck? I've never heard of this before. It's meth nos. It's apparently meth mixed in with nos. And I'm like, what the hell is that? It's like micro meth booster, they call it. And it's used with nos. And apparently it's frowned upon by street racers. And I'm like, how's that? You use nos. What's the difference between micro meth nos and regular nos? Vroom to rehab. Meth nos. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Does meth, Walter White makes that shit? Apparently he does. It's micro meth nos. And he looks at it, like, it's what this says. He's like, oh, okay. I can figure this out. Eventually, they drive back home because he knows only one fucking guy. He knows only one fucking guy uses this kind of shit. And he puts it in cars here, and he works for the cartel. He's like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out by myself. Eventually, him and Mia, they go back to the house. And she's like, Dom, listen, don't get involved. Whatever happened, it was dangerous. Letty even told me she was involved with some really dangerous guys. And he's like, I gotta do this for Letty. I gotta get Revenga. She's like, all right, well, please be careful. He goes, bro, vroom, vroom. Yeah, bro, vroom. And so they kiss. Nice platonic sibling kiss on the cheek. Mwah, mwah, all that. She gets out of the car. He drives away. Again, in the car, which has license plates that everyone recognizes. You know, the FBI would even run a trace on it. But the FBI finally show up to her house, and they're like, excuse me, Mia Toretto. And it's Shay Wingham. And he's like, we would like to talk to you. She's like, oh, fuck. And so then, chat, we cut to the FBI headquarters. Paul Walker walks in. He sees that Shay Wingham is currently talking to Mia. And he fucking bamboozles Shay Wingham because he's like, well, I don't want him, talking to her. I want to talk to her because I fucked her. I had a connection with her. I had a personal connection, bro, family, vroom, vroom moment with her way back in the day. And they say that the events of Fast and Furious took place 5 years ago. Okay, sure. And so he makes like a fake call that, saying that we need Shay Wingham. He has to go back down to evidence to sign some stuff. And he's like, fuck. And he leaves. And then Paul Walker walks in. He's like, hey, Mia, you want to go and talk? Want to get a cup of coffee? A cup of coffee? And she's like, fine. And so they walk out of the FBI headquarters. They sit at a little, diner. And she's like, you got a lot of balls to come here and talk to me. He's like, listen, I'm trying to help Dom, okay? I'm trying to help him make sure that he's okay. He's getting himself involved with some really serious people, all right? I just want to make sure that, he's protected. I'm involved in the big case. And she's like, Brian, did what we have, did that mean anything to you? And he's like, listen, I work for the FBI now. She's like, oh, you're moving up in the world. He's like, Mia, please. And she goes, you know what, Brian? You think that you're a good guy? And she fucking throws it. The expression on Paul Walker's face in this scene cracks me up because she totally just like, wait, well, I never thought of it that way. Where she says, Brian, didn't you ever think that maybe you weren't a good guy pretending to be a bad guy? Maybe you were a bad guy pretending to be a good guy. And he's like, whoa, mind fucking blown. And he's like, what? And his reaction is just like, oh, on his face when he hears that. And he just sits there afterwards and she just fucking walks away. And he's like, oh, God. Jason, thank you for the biddy. bro, no, have played on car. But when she says that line and Paul Walker's reaction is like, what? It's like, yeah, maybe you're always a shitty person trying to be a good guy. It's like, all right. Eventually, though, chat, we cut back to Dom. And he goes, now, I thought this was Leon. I thought this was Leon from Fast and Furious 1 because it looks just like him, but it's not. He just goes to this mechanic who works with the cartel. And this is pretty badass because the guy, Dom, he's working under a car. Dom pulls him out and he's like, whoa, Dom, I didn't think you'd ever come back. He's like, I need some information. And the guy goes, listen, Dom, there's some serious business going down here ever since you left, man. I can't tell you nothing. I'm sorry. And he fucking goes back under the car. He's like, I asked you a question. I got to find this guy. Get into go after this Braga guy. And he's like, listen, Dom, okay, I can't help you. All right, I don't want to get involved. Say hi to your sister for me. And it's like, oh, should have fucking said that because Dom pulls him out again, chat, grabs him, fucking punches him in the face, grabs him again, throws him in a car, and this is cool because he has like an engine on like hanging by a wire. He kicks off this cable and the fucking this huge fucking engine. She almost comes down and is basically like sitting on his face. He's like, oh, like crushed. Like if he fucking lets it go, his head would go. It would just squish like a cantaloupe. He's like, tell me the name, tell me the contact. And he's like, all right, Jesus Christ, his fucking name is. It's David Park. He's like, that's all I needed. And he squishes his stupid face. Now he's fine. He just throws him away and he breaks his fucking leg instead. He's like, I fucking hate you, man. He's like, yeah, say hello to your sister from me. And then he leaves. Eventually we cut back to FBI headquarters. Paul Walker, he walks in. And, it's, Shay Wingham is a little upset because he fucking tries to assault Paul Walker. He tries to assault Brian. He's like, the fuck, man? Why do you take my suspect away from me? I hate you. And he tries to punch him. And Brian just fucking, all he does, Brian, like, defends himself. Like, he uses the momentum of Shea Wingham, and he takes him and just boom, 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 just fucking rams his face like twice into this stone wall. And Shea Wingham's like, and the captain comes in. He's like, what the fuck's going on over here? He's like, and fucking Shea Wingham's such a piece of shit. He's like, he fucking assaulted me, sir. He came at me. It's like, you little shit. And it's like, Shea Wingham, go clean yourself up. You're bleeding out all over my floor. He's like, I hate everybody. And he fucking walks away. And he's like, fucking, O'Connor, I want results. And apparently, Paul Walker's fellow FBI agent, they have the they have the perps. They have all the David Parkers. And they go through this fucking list of people on the cars they own, because the person they're looking for is a racer. He's a 10-cent racer, chat, just like fucking Vin Diesel and just like Paul Walker was. And they go down the list and everything, and he fucking Paul Walker, he sees like, oh shit, okay. That's the guy. That's the guy that I need to go see. All right, perfect. I'm gonna fucking head over there right now because they find he has the stolen mod. He's like, that's the perp right there. They have his address, and he goes on over. At the same time, though, fucking Vin Diesel's heading there too. They both realize information at the exact same time. And so Vin Diesel, he gets there sooner. By the way, Vin Diesel rocking the classic wife beater, chat, just pure fucking white. And he's just walking up these stairs, and he hears like this like race car video game. He's like, and he just fucking kicks in the door. Oh yeah, the guy's like, holy fucking shit! And Vin Diesel just starts throwing this guy around like, he's like, oh! He's like, who are you, man? He's like, tell me how to get in the, where Braga is. Where's Braga? He's like, I don't fucking know, man. Jesus Christ. And eventually, like, Paul Walker he's like, gonna arrest somebody today. So fun. And he gets out of his car, and all of a sudden he sees the window above him just smash open, and Vin Diesel's holding David Park by his leg like, tell me now, bro, or I drop, bro. He's like, oh, fucking hell, man. He's fucking freaking out. He's pissing and shit all over himself. He's like, oh. And fucking Brian's like, goddamn it, Dom. And he starts running up those stairs. And finally, David Park gives a name. Oh, right before, because it's so cool, because it's the first meeting chat between Brian O'Connor and Dom Toretto, and they've not seen each other in 5 fucking years, chat, during that iconic moment where fucking Brian gives Dom the keys and tells him to get out of here. And Brian went to the stairs. He's out the door. He goes, Dom. He's like, O'Connor, it's been a while. He's like, don't drop him, Dom. He's like, I just need a little information. He's like, give me information. He's like, okay. You gotta participate in this race. It's coming up like, I don't know, a couple days or some shit. You go ahead, they're looking for a new racer, okay? A new drug runner. You participate in this race and you win, you get to meet Braga. He's like, good. And he's like, and at this point, O'Connor's like, listen, okay, now bring him back inside. He's like, no, anyone who helped in the death of Letty, they'll pay. And he just fucking drops him. He's like, oh! But thankfully, he like holds onto some curtains, and O'Connor, he fucking runs at him, picks him. He's like, don't let me go, man. He's like, it's okay, we got him. And he brings him inside, and Dom, full of fucking Batman, he gets the hell out of there. He just leaves. Again, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing very well. Is this the first movie where they have super? Yes, kind of. They're wafting back and forth. Sometimes, actually, yes. Sometimes reality, logic, and gravity applies. Other times it doesn't. This was the in-between, like, okay, what direction is this franchise going to go in? And then after that, we got Fast 5. It's like, okay, now we know. This is the crossroads. This is the crossroads entering the franchise, the middle child, if you will. Oh, yeah, and then that's when he takes him back to the station when fucking Shea Wingham assaults him and shit. But then after that, it's okay, we got this guy, and Brian O'Connor realizes, like, okay, they interrogated, what's his name? They have all information. Braga, he's looking for a new drug runner. He got to participate in this street race in L.A., and okay, well, the only street racer we have working with us right now, of course, is fucking Paul Walker. And Paul Walker's like, hell yeah. And so he goes and speaks with his fellow FBI agent, and they're like, okay, we have all these cars for you. And he's like, yeah, that car, this car, that car, and that car. And he's like, okay, of these 3 cars, which one do you want? And he goes, no, I want them all. And then we get a montage of Paul Walker taking apart all 3 of these cars and combining them into one car. And this is the car which he uses throughout, I think, most of the series, the classic blue racer, from here on out, from 4 all the way to 7, which is pretty goddamn cool. And so then he's like, he puts this together and he rolls on up into the apparently Braga, or a representative of Braga, chat, Campos. The Campos Braga thing, we're going to get to that because it's like really fucking dumb. Now, there might be an explanation for it, but I'm like, okay, this is weird. But they're going to Paul Walker's character and Dom, they're going to this race organized by a representative of Braga named Campos. And it's downtown Los Angeles. And no one, apparently, even though, street racing has, ever since the age of Dom, like, street racing at its height, the police and the FBI have not been able to stop it, chat. And even, even fucking career criminals, even drug lords can operate here and operate a street race with no issue. It's like, okay, sure. So they stop there. Brian, he's rolling up, and he sees fucking Dom, and it's like, oh, shit, it's going to be awkward. But at this point, they don't want to they're kind of at an impasse because neither of them can reveal, like, the other person. Because if one says, oh, yeah, that guy's a fucking cop, or this guy, he's coming for revenge, they both be fucked. And so they got to kind of play along with each other, which is really cool. It's a great dynamic. We get, like, we see a series of other racers here, of other characters, where this one guy, I don't know what the fuck his name is, but he's basically a cowboy Clay Aiken, and he has, like, always, like, 3 ladies with him, chat, the whole time. And he sees, like, Paul Walker and Vin Diesel. He's constantly making fun of them. And it's like, whoo, look at you with that little international car of yours, that foreign car. Aw, sweetie, you ain't gonna do well here. I'll tell you what, I'm the best goddamn drug racer for Braga. Aren't I, ladies? He looks exactly like fucking Clay Aiken, chat. And fucking Paul Walker's like, dude, why are you such an asshole? He just walks away. Eventually, Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, they go up and they meet Campos, chat, played by John Ortiz, which you've seen in a number of films for the past nearly 30 years at this point. He's a very good actor. He's a very good actor. And he's, like, golfing on top of this thing. Like, he has this giant net over all the racers, and he's just golfing. And he's doing his whole fucking villain monologue. He's like, Braga, he wants the best of the best for his drug operation, okay? And I want to put you guys through the fucking ringer. And so we have down there, we have Brian. And we have 3 other racers. This is funny. So we have one racer who I think we just know as Cheetah Pet based on his hair, because he has this really floofy, curly hair. And we have some other guy you don't even give a shit about. But the third racer, chat, is Brandon T. Jackson. And he gets the nickname, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. I love it. Brandon T. Jackson's nickname in the movie is Ghetto Smurf. Everyone calls like, hey, yo, I'm Ghetto Smurf, motherfucker. It's like, all right. It fucking killed me. Every time they called him Ghetto Smurf. I'm sorry, because he's little, chatty, little, and he's from the ghetto. I hate it. That's what his name is. I'm just telling you what his name is. And so Braga's like, all right, we're not going to just organize like a 10-cent race, okay? And they're like, what? Aren't you going to like make sure our path is good? He's like, nah, motherfucker, because I want to make sure my racers never stop. And when you're going to actually encounter fucking traffic and pedestrians, I have to admit, this is really goddamn cool. Like all the racing so far in the movie, all the action scenes, handled very well so far, chat, by Justin Lin and his cinematographer. They've done a great job. Even Tokyo Drift, like I said before, all the racing and chase sequences in Tokyo Drift are good. There's other things wrong in the movie, but all the action in this movie is fun. I really like it. And so they're literally, and I like this, this is fucking realistic. They have to do a race, a 5-mile race. This location here, whoever's the first one that gets their wins. You get the place to be my other new drug runner. And they're like, all right, but you have to go through fucking LA traffic to get there. And you're gonna, and I love it because it's weird because they obviously murder a ton of people throughout this entire race. Even Brian, who is an FBI agent, he's like, woo, I'm having fun. It's like you killing pedestrians. And it's just very bizarre to me, but it's like, all right. And so they all fucking start at the start. Oh yeah, and what Gal Gadot's in this movie, she's barely a character. Gal Gadot's in there. She's kind of like the go-between between the racers and Campos, Chad is and Campos. And also you see some of other Campos's thugs. You see this one guy who was named Phoenix, which is a stupid name, but he looks like not Voss. He's basically Voss, but I call him not Voss, like from Far Cry 3. And he's there, and he has a big issue with everyone who's one of the drug. He's like, ooh. He's always angry. It's like, dude, fucking take it easy. Like his emotion is anger, check consistently. And so they're at the fucking start, and fucking Gal Gadot, she walks out. Oh, by the way, I have to say, not as much booty in this movie, but there's some good booty butt shots. Like not as much. I would say it's on the same level as the first Fast and Furious. Not nearly as much as John Singleton's Too Fast, Too Furious, because he's just like, everything's a booty shot. Like, no, there's a lot of booty shots in this. It's a little bit more than Tokyo Drift, so he's up the booty quota in this film. There's some great shots in this, chat. I mean, there's like, there it is. Just asses just sitting on cars, chat. Just like that the whole time. He's like, oh, God. I love it. Of course, there's the good part. By the way, that henchman dude, Phoenix, is played by Mother's Milk. That's him? Oh, my God. Wow. They didn't give him shit to do in this movie. Or at least what they had to do wasn't great. Much better than the boys. But yeah, Gal Gadot, she looks... Gal Gadot looks emaciated in this film. It's like, I feel like a stiff breeze would blow her over. It's like, eat a sandwich. God damn, eat a sandwich. But she's there, and she's like, all right, everybody. She's just like so frail, and she's like walking out. She's like, go! And all 5 racers take off. And by the way, the crash in this film, they're fucking graphic. Because one of the racers, he just fucking hits a car immediately and goes, his car flips over, crashes, and he's like, all right, guess you're out of the race. Maybe he's alive. I mean, we have the majority of the race is pretty cool. Because one of the racers, I think it's Brandon T. Jackson, he bamboozles Paul Walker. And Paul Walker is constantly behind throughout the entire race, but he's like on another like road, and he can't cross over there because there's fucking guardrails, and she's like, God damn it. And he has this GPS system constantly is telling him, make a U-turn, make a U-turn. You are 4 miles away from your destination. She's like, come on, it's right there, which is great. And Dom's mostly in the lead, but there's this great dynamic. I don't know what dynamic, but this great back and forth between the 2 racers, chat, of Brandon T. Jackson, who is referred to as Ghetto Smurf, and this other guy who's just referred to as Chia Pet. And Brandon T. Jackson gets Chia Pet just fucking killed. Where literally, Chia Pet, he runs into a car, boom, another car hits him driver's side, and his car just does tons of flips. And it's like, that man is dead. They don't cut back, and he's like, he crawls out, it's like, nah, that motherfucker's dead. And eventually, we cut back. So now it's like primarily a race between Ghetto Smurf and Vin Diesel. And they're going at it. And Ghetto Smurf's talking all this shit. Eventually, Paul Walker's like, shit, I can't make a U-turn. And he sees them, like, down this hill, and there's all these guardrails and fences and shit. And he's like, I'm sorry, car. Like, he's apologizing to the car, and he fucking takes his car off-road, goes to the girder, goes to all these fences, and he ends up right behind Vin Diesel and Ghetto Smurf. And Ghetto Smurf's like, oh, this motherfucker wants to mess with fucking Ghetto Smurf. I don't think so, dog. And fucking Ghetto Smurf tries to kill Brian O'Connor. Brian O'Connor's like, nah, man. And fucking he bamboozles some chat. He passes him, and then like Brandon Jackson's like, oh shit! And he just boom, he hits a fucking car. He does a million flips. He flips off the guardrail, chat. Boom, boom, boom. The car's like his demolished car ends up chasing Dom and Brian the whole time, and you can just see Brandon T. Jackson going, hey! Just imagine Chris Tucker in a horrifying car accident, and you just hear him going, eh! The entire goddamn time. It turns into a pinball, and he's fucking dead. There's no doubt about that. Eventually, we cut back to Dom and Brian, who escaped the pinball that is Ghetto Smurf, who is mostly just fucking meat chat and Chris Tucker screams at this point. And they're like edging each other out, but shit. At this point, Dom's like, I gotta get that NOS. And he activates his NOS and he goes ahead to Paul Walker. He's like, Dom, you can't beat me, man. I got that NOS too. And he activates his NOS and they're going super fast. And Paul Walker's moving ahead of Dom. He's moving ahead of Dom. He's ahead of him. But fucking Vin Diesel's like, I gotta get to Braga. And he goes, boop. He nudges his car into Brian's, and all you need is a fucking nudge chat. And that causes Brian to spin out. And fucking Vin Diesel crosses the finish line. And it's like, oh shit, Dom Toretto is the winner. Everyone steps out and stuff. And Phoenix is like the first one in line that goes, whoa, man, that was some crazy ass racing you did. He's like, thanks, bro. And they're all hugging. And fucking Brian walks up. He's like, hey, fuck that bullshit. Fuck that. Hey, you fucking cheated. And he's like, hey, man, don't hate the fucking player, hate the game. And they're like, oh, shit. So at this point, Brian's like, fuck. And Dom is like, see you next time, Brian. It's like, ooh, you motherfucker. Oh. So it's very frustrating. But Brian sees an opportunity because he's taking his car. It's kind of damaged. He's driving away. And he passes by Cowboy Clay Aiken. And it's like, better luck next time, fool. Try to compete with real racers. You don't got a chance. And he's like, all right. I'll see you later. And then we cut. Jay, this is great. Because, you know, he's like, I'm just gonna look up your fucking file. And I'm gonna read about you, Clay Aiken. We cut to Clay Aiken's house, chat, and Clay Aiken's got like this penthouse apartment. He's got all these ladies there. And I'm like, okay, this is clearly the early life of Quentin Tarantino, chat, because he has a video camera. He's like, all right, ladies, let me see them tootsies. Let me see them piggly wigglies. And all the girls take off their like shoes and socks and shit. He goes, oh yeah, that's a good foot right there. Come here. He starts sucking. He starts sucking on their feet, chat. He's like, that's a go. It's like, oh my God. Dwight likes feet. Dwight likes feet. Yes, he does. Or Clay Aiken in this case. And then all of a sudden, all the FBI shows up. They go, run! They push. He's like, oh Lord, oh Lord. They all arrest him. He's like, and then all the girls are like, bye, Dwight, bye. He's like, wait, help. They arrest him. And since he's arrested, chat, fucking Braga Campos, he needs a new drug runner, chat. So Brian, he came in second. Boom, you're our newest drug runner. And so after this, chat, we cut. I believe we where are we now after this? Yes, this is what happens after this. So we cut and we're at the LA pad of Campos and Braga, chat. And Dom, he goes in there and he helps himself to what, chat? A Corona. Obviously, fucking Dom loves his Coronas and he's drinking them. And fucking Brian, he comes up behind him. He's like, hey, Dom, what's up? And he goes, fucking O'Connor, back again. He's like, listen, man. All right, we're going to have to work together to get through this, all right? I understand why you're going after Braga. My department wants to take him down, okay? Let's not work against each other. He's like, I don't like you, O'Connor. And it's like, but for Letty, we'll do it. It's like, Letty was my friend. Nah, man, she wasn't your friend. She was family. He's like, all right, shit. Eventually, Phoenix comes on over, and he's like, Campos wants to go and talk to you. And he's like, all right. And so they go over, and they sit down. And Campos, he picks up in the sense like, okay, you two clearly know each other just by your dynamic and the way you're talking. And, you know, neither of them are saying anything until Vin Diesel brings up, he's like, he dated my sister. And he's like, oh, you dated Dom Toretto's sister. Oh, and you're still alive to tell about it. Nice, man, nice. Okay, you are fucking tough. You are tough. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say, chat, at the end of the race, my favorite fucking line of the movie, chat. So when Vin Diesel nudges Paul Walker out of the way, and Brian's like, no! When he loses, Dom crosses his finish line and says, still a buster. And they brought it back, chat. Still a buster. I love it. It's so good. And at this point, Campos is like, oh, you guys, you're wonderful. You're great. Well, you guys enjoy the fucking party. I'll be right back. Drink your Corona. Drink your goddamn tequila cocktails. I'll see you later. And Dom and Brian go their separate ways because they're both looking for something else. So Dom, he sneaks into the garage area because he knows Letty clearly worked for this Braga guy. Clearly worked for him because they make references to Letty and how she was a racer for him, a drug runner for him. And he goes into the garage and he sees her fucking car. He's looking at it and shit. He goes, oh. And then fucking Wonder Woman, she comes in. Gal Gadot, she comes in. She's like, oh, you like the car? Do you seem familiar with it? He goes, I'm just admiring the body of the car. She's like, are you one of those boys that think cars are sexier than women? And he's like, I appreciate any fine body of work. And she's like all up in the car at this point. She's just like, fuck me, please. And she goes, well, what's your kind of woman? And he explains, she's like, I like a woman who has eyes that can see through the bullshit. I like a woman who is 80% devil, 20% angel. I like the kind of woman who can be honest with me and tell me what she thinks. And to stand up for herself. And she's like, that's not me at all. He's like, yeah, it ain't. And he fucking walks away. I'm like, I love it. He just walks away from Gal Gadot. She's like, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Yeah, she was in the franchise 4, 5, and 6, I believe. She might be in more. Who knows? Anyone getting back from death. She's like, oh my God. Eventually we come back to Brian. And Brian, he's following Campos, and he sees Campos apparently toasting what maybe is Braga, chat. It's like, whoa, Campos and Braga. He's like, oh shit. But then Braga almost sees Brian. He like walks away quick. And at this point, they're like, well, guys, party's over. You guys go ahead and enjoy yourselves, okay? You go ahead and have a goddamn fun time. Eventually, chat, we cut, and it's the next day, and they'll give them cell phones. They'll give them cell phones like, hey, when we call you on this beeper, all right, you come a-running. And so Dom and Brian, they're hit at the same time, and they have to leave. Brian's like now he has a bug in his car, so the FBI's like, we're gonna bug these fucking cars. Brian's like, another bug? It's like, again, it's the third time. He's like, we gotta do it, man. He's like, shit. And so he goes to this warehouse where Dom's already there. The rest of the other racers had already been running drugs for Campos, or at least these are some of the newest recruits because they're unfamiliar with the operation. Actually, it's not really implied. It's like, are these guys new? Because they seem confused about the situation here. Maybe they've run drugs, but not this particular drug run. And so they're all there, but we see Campos, he's there, and we have all these guys with bug scanners, and Brian's like, oh, fucking shit. And he's trying to, like, thankfully, the bug is inside this one, it's right below the stick, but he has to, like, open up the plastic part. So he's, like, fiddling around going, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit. Trying to get this thing open. He eventually gets it, chat. And he's like, oh shit. And they're right next to his car. He goes, whoop. And he puts in a bit of Dr. Pibb, chat. Some Dr. Pibb, and kills the bug. And, Shea Wingham is like, oh, he killed the bug. That's what he does. You want to see what he's doing. He's still a fucking criminal. He's a buster. Don't use that word, Shea Wingham. Only Vin Diesel and Paul Walker can use that word. And then they start loading up all the cars with the people still inside them in these giant fucking cargo containers. And the other guys are like, what the fuck is going on? And they're just shipped off. It's like, what the hell? And these guys like come out of their cars at one point and they go, hey guys, where do you think they're taking us? And Vin Diesel's like, doesn't matter. I'm just here to enjoy the ride. Vin Diesel gets sleepy time. He gets a nice little nap. Eventually, they open up the cargo containers, and they all come out, and they're in Mexico because Gazelle's there. Chat Gal the Ghost here. She's like, "Welcome to Mexico, boys." Phoenix, not Voss. He's going to be leading you in this operation. Here are the details. And at this point, Vin Diesel, he starts to fucking figure out this Phoenix guy, like, because he sees that he's using, like, Letty's car, one of her cars now, so he's like, this is the fucking guy that killed Letty. He absolutely fucking killed Letty. Like, there's something about him. I think he's full of shit. And he's like, where's Phoenix? And he's like, he'll join you at this specific point. He goes, all right. And apparently what they're shipping, chat, is they don't know it's in all these fucking huge unmarked boxes, but each one is placed inside cars. It's fucking heavy. It's fucking big. But in the back of their cars, he's like, okay, you're going to go straight towards the United States border. And they're all like, okay, what then? She's like, don't worry. Phoenix is going to help you out from that point. And you're like, all right. And so they just fucking book it, chat. In the middle of the goddamn desert, like no roads. Like, again, these cars are not built for this kind of terrain, but it doesn't matter. And so they're all like, blah, 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 as they're driving. Eventually, Phoenix, he fucking comes in. He's like, all right, guys, stay directly behind me and do what I do. And they're like, okay. But then Vin Diesel's like, fuck this guy. He tries to get on the side of them, chat, because he wants to fucking take him out. He's got like a goddamn gun. Well, he doesn't have a gun, but he's like, I'm going to nudge him. I'm going to nudge him out of the way and kill him. And fucking Phoenix is like, get back in formation, Toretto. And because at this point, they're coming to a fucking, like solid mountain wall, chat, like directly. And like, what the hell? And Dom's like, oh shit. And he gets back in the line, chat, and fucking Phoenix, he presses a button and this secret fucking door opens up and they go through this mountain pass. Now, by the way, all of the United States security border is monitoring this at all times. You see all the cameras there, but they never knew about this secret fucking mountain pass tunnel. And they have a limited amount of time because unless they don't get through the mountain fast enough, all these helicopters will be on their asses. And so we got to get through this mountain secret tunnel pass as quickly as possible. And it reminds me of that section in Fast and Furious Crossroads where you're going through that mine. It's like a mine. And you're like trying to outrun this giant drill and shit. But they go through this thing and it's like the CGI doesn't really hold up. And they're like, it's like the walls are super, like, it's super enclosed. It's very dark, very cramped, and they're like bumper to bumper. So if you make one fucking move, everyone is dead. This feels like a very complicated and very dangerous. But they're doing this perfectly, and they're all matching Phoenix's moves. And Gal Gadot's saying, like, you have no time. Like, you got to get through this now. And another secret door opens up, and they burst through, and the helicopters miss them. It's like, all right, looks like they got away. Oh, well. It's like, again, a secret mountain pass, of course, that's nitro meth money. I guess so. Like, how they managed to build this secret mountain pass that goes for miles. It's miles long. And the United States Border Patrol or military knew nothing about it. It's like, logic, chat, out the window. And so eventually they meet up at this location across the United States border. And Dom at this point is like, all right, this is fucked up. Something's up. And he undoes his NOS. He unplugs the NOS, and so it's this leaking NOS inside of his car. And he starts heating up his cigarette lighter. And everyone's like, get out of the fucking car. And fucking, not Voss is very upset. He's like, that was sloppy. That was so goddamn sloppy. Get out of the car. Get your stuff. And they're like, hey, man. And they all get out slowly and shit. And one of the racers who's not Brian or Dom, he's like, hey, man, when the fuck are we gonna get paid? And fucking Phoenix pulls out a gun and goes, here's your payment. Bam! And shoots him in the face. And everyone's like, whoa. And Dom, he's moving up on this guy. He's like, hey, you want some too? And Dom's like, I just want to know something. He's like, what do you want to know, bro? What do you want to know? He's like, you knew someone named Letty? She worked for you, didn't she? We get the flashback of Letty crawling out of the car like, damn. And he's like, yeah, I knew Letty. I'm the one that shot her in the face. I'm the one that saw her burn to death. And it's like, you shot, okay, which one is it, man? You shot her in the face or you saw her burn to death? And so I love that this guy maybe is like, he lied clearly because we know Letty escaped and got amnesia later on in the series. It's like, okay, but I'm like, okay, so maybe he was inconsistent with his own story. It's like, yeah, I shot her and then she burned to death. It's like, okay, if you say so. No logic. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And Dom's like, that's all I fucking need, because I'm going to watch you burn to death. He's like, huh? And then all the fucking, like, his car goes, the cigarette lighter goes, boop, and boom, big NOS explosion, and it takes out all the cars down the row. And everyone starts fucking shooting at each other. Like, the other racers, the other drug runners, they get shot, with the exception of Brian and Vin Diesel. And Vin Diesel is a god in this scene because I love it, because Vin Diesel, all he does, he doesn't even grab a gun. He just lifts people up and throws them. Ready? And he even gets shot. He gets shot in the shoulder, like right in the shoulder. And the guy just goes, bam! And Vin Diesel goes, you fucked up. It doesn't even, like he had any sense of he got shot. And he walks over this guy and just starts beating him. Bro, rage. And Brian's like, Dom, we need to leave. He's like, fine. And he gets in the car with Brian. They take off. And, like, never once does he show any pain. Eventually, because they loaded up all these boxes into this car that Brian and Dom are in. They stop. Brian, he calls the FBI. His boss is Shea Wingham, and they're saying, okay, fucking bring this in and bring Toretto. And he's like, I can't do that. I can't bring Dom in, all right? And they're like, Toretto, don't fucking pull this bullshit again. And he's like, listen, I'll call you back later. And he fucking destroys the phone. We then see all this huge blood trail. It's like, oh no, Dom, is he dying? And he's like, no, he's not. He's just fucking walking around perfectly fine. So Vin Diesel's the Hulk he is. Again, logic goes out the window. This is the in-between movie where sometimes the injuries, this is when Dom is never injured again. He never gets really, truly fucked up. He only survives. He has a fucking bullet. Well, it looks like lodged in his shoulder blade, and he's like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, I got a scratch. Thank you for the 5 minutes. He looks straight up offended that someone took the time to put. Yes, he's like, what? You shot me? Are you crazy? I just love it. I mean, it's stupid, but it's so much fun. That's the thing. Like, it's dumb, but Vin Diesel has a way to sell the dumbness to you. You're like, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with it. It's like a BB gun pellet. It's like, yeah, it didn't work. But we see this. We follow this blood trail. And Dom has opened up the boxes, and it's just loaded up, chat, with black tar heroin, loaded up with crack cocaine, loaded up with the devil's lettuce, chat. And Dom just looks at it and goes, yeah, there's about $60 million worth of drugs in this box. And it's like, okay. He just knows, just by the 60 million. Oh, yeah, I know this. He's seen this before. He just knows that number. It's like, all right, sure. And he's like, you fucking, your boys, you gonna turn me in, O'Connor? He's like, I'm not gonna turn you in, Dom. We're in this together, okay? We gotta help each other. He's like, all right, O'Connor, what do you got? And this is great. Brian's idea, and it's like, okay, it's kind of brilliant in a way, but also stupid as fuck, where he's like, we're gonna give it to him. He's like, what? So they drive to this the FBI this is great. They literally drive to the FBI impound lot in Los Angeles. They go in there, and they leave the car. And Vin Diesel's like, aren't they going to know about that we just dropped it off? He goes, nah, man. The last place they would look is their own impound lot. And fucking Vin Diesel's like, really? And they just leave. It's like, all right. It shows how, it just indicates how incompetent the police, the authorities, the FBI is in all these movies. It's like, yeah, we just dropped it off. They wouldn't even know it's here. And then they go. And eventually they, where'd they go from here? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah. So after this, they go back. Oh yeah, they go back home and they want a fucking meeting with actual Braga, like the actual Braga to capture him. So the deal with the FBI is like, okay, we're gonna capture Braga. But you're not going to turn Dom in at this point. But they want an actual meeting with him. And Campos is acting as the in-between. Campos is like, it's not possible to meet with Braga at all. He's like, you're going to fucking put that meeting together or you're never going to see your $60 million worth of black tar heroin, crack cocaine, and devil's lettuce again. He's like, fuck, fine. Okay, we'll organize it. And so at this point, it's like a moment between Dom and Brian. They're finally bonding. They're working on the car together that Letty was working on, Dom's original muscle car. Mia, she comes home. She has groceries. And he's like, Dom, if you don't mind, I'm going to go talk to Mia. He's like, you go do what you need to do, bro. And so Brian goes inside, and he's like, Mia, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry. And she goes, oh, Brian, put a fucking baby in me. And they fuck on the kitchen countertop, chat. It's like, oh, they just go at it, chat, like two horny teenagers who know what they're doing. I thought that was hilarious. And you literally cut outside, and Dom is just sitting on the porch, who's probably listening to all of this, just going, family, just drinking the whole time. It's like, I love it. It's so goddamn good. After that, after the sexy times happen, we cut. This is what happens next. This is what happens next. So they have the sexy times, and they go to I guess Paul Walker's like hideout area, which he's always had since I don't know the original film. I don't know. He goes to their hideout area, and yeah, it's because he wants to give Dom Letty's effects. He wants to give us what she left behind because they recovered it from the scene of the accident. It's like, all right, and so they're all bonding. Mia, she brought Chinese food. Everybody, they're all eating Chinese food. And it's a great little reference. And she's like, well, Dom, since you ate first, you have to say grace. He goes, all right. And he says grace. And they're all holding hands, chat, like before. Like they're a fucking family. It's a small family, chat. Just the three of them. But you feel it. You get that same sense of bro, vroom family that you did from the original movies. Like, I love that. And after they finish dinner and Brian and me and talking, they give Dom time to look through Letty's effects. He look at all the pictures together. He sees himself in the original movie. He finds the cross, and he puts it back on. And then he sees Letty's cell phone, chat, and it's like a flip phone. He goes in, so yeah, that was consistent. No, it's not flip phone. It's like a BlackBerry or something. But he looks at it, and he goes through her contacts, her numbers, and there's this weird contact that's called like multiple times, but it's all in Chinese characters. And he goes, this is weird. And he dials it, chat. He dials it. And Brian's phone starts ringing. And Dom's like, oh. And Brian's like, Dom. He's like, no, good, bro. And he starts beating the shit out of Brian. He literally hulks out and starts fucking throwing Brian around. Like, Brian's like, help me. And he's like, Dom, stop it. The only thing that Paul Walker can do. He's like, thick thigh attack. And he wraps his fucking thighs around Dom's head, but it doesn't stop Vin Diesel because Vin Diesel, he just like gets up with Ryan's thighs, goes, starts slamming him into everything. And so Paul's like, she contacted me, Dom. He's like, what? She wanted to help you. She did it for you. She contacted me as she wanted to be an informant on Braga. That's what it was. And they would have given you and her clemency if she participated and we busted it. I'm sorry, Dom. I'm sorry. And he's like, and he's very upset about it. And he needs time to think. It's fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's so goddamn good. But they're like, he calms down. And he's like, oh, fucking shit. For Letty, okay, for Letty. Yes, she was my friend. And Dom says, she wasn't your friend, man. she was family. It's like, all right, sure. And so then eventually they make amends and they go to the FBI monitor situation. Shea Wingham's there with a big old fucking FBI SWAT team and shit. Campos shows up there, but so is Phoenix, so is Notvoss, and Notvoss just immediately gets out of the car and goes, "What's up, bro? Fucking want to kill me again? Here's your fucking gun. Here, man. You want to shoot me with this?" And even Campos like, dude, chill the fuck out. We need the money, the money, motherfucker. We need the money. And he's like, all right, man, but he's fucking trying to kill me, man. And I'm like, all right, I get it. And at this point, they're like, oh, there's the fucking the boxes, and Campos walks over, John Ortiz walks over, and they open it up. Oh, by the way, at one point in the film, Paul Walker, he stole the 2 glasses that Campos and Braga were drinking from, these 2 glasses, and he gave them to the FBI, and they're scanning for thumbprints to match. And they're like, oh, we'll find the guy just to get an ID on Braga. It's like, okay. And so Campos, he opens up the packages and there's nothing in them. They're like, we want to fucking have Braga deliver the money to us. Like they said, well, give us $6 million and we'll give you your $60 million worth of drugs back. And he's like, okay. And he's like, all right. And so fucking Campos looks at the car and this old man walks out and he's like, ah! He's like, oh, I guess that's Braga. He's like, yeah. And he comes over and he drops this bag. And they're like looking at him because it's like, this guy, he's wearing these pastel colors. He's got, it's all a pink tie, a pink handkerchief, you know, this gray whitish suit. And they're like, Braga's profile tells me like he grew up on the streets, and he has a very down to earth fashion sense. And they're like, this motherfucker's not Braga. And then we get one of the weirdest, he's straight up Voss. But we get one of the weirdest plot twists in the movie. Like, this wasn't even necessary. The whole, like, who's Braga thing? Like, he's Blofeld from Spectre or something. Like, who is Braga? Like, he's this criminal mastermind. And it cuts back to the FBI because they're finally getting the results back to find, like, oh, who Braga is. And Braga is actually Campos. It's John Ortiz. And I'm like, oh, really? I was like, it's not a big reveal. And because even when I was doing my audio commentary, it was like, oh yeah, I know who Braga is. It's John Ortiz. I'm like, oh, that was a twist in the movie? Because I thought for the whole time, for like most of my commentary I was doing it for, like, why does fucking he keep saying just Braga doesn't like this, Braga doesn't like that? Why does he keep talking in the third person? A big point in the movie was the plot twist involving that Campos and Braga were the same guy. But it's like, but what does it matter? And the only thing I can think of is that because the FBI is always after Braga, but they let Campos in the back and forth between Mexico and the United States all the time because they want to eventually catch Braga. And that's the reason why he uses the alias Campos. But again, I don't understand. It's not like a big reveal. It doesn't make any sense. Like the only way I can see that making any semblance of sense is because they never knew what he looked like. And the real Braga never wanted to use his name because he wanted to go in back and forth between the United States at free will. Because apparently the FBI was allowing this fucking murderer, this drug lieutenant Campos, be willy-nilly. And I was like, okay? It's so, that's honestly the dumbest part of the movie. I'm like, who cares? Anyway, he's revealed as Braga. Oh no. And they're all like, but Shea Wingham, he pulls the gun too fast. He's like, the old man is Braga, let's go. And they all fucking raid and they attack. And Braga, he's like, I'm actually Braga. Mwahaha. And he gets in the car with Phoenix and they drive away. And fucking the real Braga is like, run him down, Phoenix. And they just start like running over SWAT guys and shit with their cars. So they're back up, going forward, backing up, going forward, backing up. And apparently Gal Gadot's like, I'm so cold, I need a blanket. And they're like, kill her too. And they try to run her over at one point. But damn, he jumps in front of her and grabs her and makes sure she's not hit by Braga. And she's like, oh my God, you saved me from Braga. I'll work for you now, okay? I'm going to betray him now since he tried to kill me, which fair enough, I get it. And he's like, yeah, you're part of the family. It's like, great. And so, okay, at this point, the operation is a complete fucking bust. Like, it's not going well, and the deal has just gone bad. So Dom, and at this point, and the FBI was gonna capture Dom as well. And Brian's like, all right, fuck this. I'm going off the grid with you. Let's do this, okay? We're gonna get him together. We're gonna get Phoenix. You're gonna get your revenge. We're gonna get Braga, all right? And Dom's like, that's all you need to say, bro. And so they head to Mexico and their respective. Actually, Brian drives like an SUV for the rest of the movie, and they go back to Dom's place. Which, by the way, the FBI has decided not to watch Dom's place. He has frequented that location so many times in the movie, and no one is going back to check the house. Like, and he works on it. He works on the car and puts it back together. And him and they somehow get across the Mexican border. I don't know why. I don't know how. How is any of this possible? It doesn't make any sense. It's like, what? And then Campos is wrong. It doesn't matter. And so they somehow get across the United States-Mexican border, and they meet up at this town, which is Braga's, like, base of operations. Brian's like, okay, how are we going to get in there? He's like, Dom's like, don't worry, I have an inside agent. And then Gal Gadot pulls up in her car, and she's like, Braga tried to betray me and murder me, and so now I'm going to help you. He always goes to this church. You'll find him there. And he's like, thank you, bro. And she's like, no problem. And so she leaves. She leaves the rest of the movie. She'll be in Fast 5, though, and she'll be dating Han. And then we cut to the town where we see this motorcade. All these people would clear the fucking road because it's Braga's motorcade. Because he always stops at this church chat to pay his respects and to save his fucking soul. And he thinks by giving more money to the church that he'll save his soul. He goes like, and I love it because he goes in the church and he's like, wait out here, guys, wait out here. I'm going to go inside alone by myself. And so he goes in the church. No one, the padre's there, the priest's there. He goes up. He's like, Padre, the priest is like, Senor Braga, it's so good to have you. He's like, yeah, here's my penance. And he's like, it's like, and I'm here to ask for God's forgiveness. And he fucking gets down his knees and is like, is he going to suck the priest's dick? I mean, I guess it's par for the course for the Catholic Church, but it's like, still, man, still. Stranger Shoe, thank you for the 5 minutes FBI from the Hazard County office. It must be ridiculous. So ridiculous. Cokey, bro. But he gets on his knees and he's like, all right, Padre, let me at it. But he just takes the money and he gives him the Eucharist and he blesses him and he gets the fuck out. That priest, that Padre, he takes that money and runs. And fucking John Ortiz, Braga Campos, he's like, my Padres, he's speaking, he's doing the thing. And then fucking Brian and Dom come out of nowhere and they got shotguns on him. He's like, he's like, you're coming with us. And he's like, gonna finish me off? You're no hero, Dom. And he goes, shh. He's like, he's about to shoot him. He goes, you're right, but he is. And we're bringing you in. And he's like, Dom's doing the right thing. And so they capture Braga, put him in the car, and they fucking put him in with Brian. They take off. Meanwhile, one of the guards are like, he's been in there for a fucking while. He's getting antsy. And he goes inside the church. No one's there. He notices that the side door is askew. He's like, he's obviously been kidnapped. That must be it. He's not just going for a breather. And they're like, they get all the boys together. We got to go after them. And Phoenix, he also gets the call, and he's like, shit, we got to take him down. And so we cut, and they're driving through this fucking town, and Braga is just gloating at Brian the whole time. He's like, you'll never make it out of the town. You'll never escape. Maybe you'll make it a few miles. Maybe you'll make it to the border, but I'll come out on top. And Brian's just like, shut the fuck up. And he keeps hitting him with his elbow. He's like, oh. And eventually they get to the outside of the town. But then all the guys show up, and the thing is, they're all riding vehicles that are, like, not meant for this terrain. They're all, like, in Cadillacs and shit. So as soon as they hit, like, any, like, desert, they're like, bah, 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 bah. They're, like, flipping over and everything. Now, they do have some, this type of, like, desert terrain vehicles, and they're chasing after Brian and Dom. And they're like, well, where are you going to fucking go? Because the U.S. border's right there. I mean, well, it's there, but it's that mountain range. And we realize, like, oh, shit, they're going to go and take the drug runner path through the mountain that apparently is not monitored by the U.S. Border Patrol. And they're like, oh, my God. But fucking Phoenix at this point, Navas is like, there's no way you're going to be able to get through there. I know that place. You guys don't know it. But apparently, chat, Vin Diesel and Brian O'Connor, they went through it once, and they have it. They just have that photographic memory, chat, and they know every single turn to take in that fucking thing. It's like, okay. And so they go in there. And it's mostly between, Dom is, like, behind them because he's dealing with Phoenix. He's fighting them off. And so Brian, he really is the one that has to get through there. And he has to deal with all these fucking cars. And this is a cool scene. Because all these other drivers, like, they don't really know this area very well. And so they're slamming the fucking pillars and exploding, causing all these massive accidents. And the mine is collapsing on them. It's like, oh, shit. At one point, Brian does make a bad turn. He's being, because he also has Phoenix behind him. And he's like, oh, shit. But thankfully, there was a very loose wooden wall to the side. And he just goes through that wooden wall, and he's back on the right track again. It's like, all right, don't worry about it. And they eventually, they get through there, and Brian still has Phoenix after him. And now we get a great scene where Vin Diesel, he's got to fight off all the rest of the guys. And this is when I'm like, all right, this is when gravity and logic go out the window. So at one point, they're kind of in this one tunnel that's wide enough for 2 cars. But there's no way that Vin Diesel can keep driving forward because there's a fucking wall in front of him. And so he opens his door and somehow reaches over and grabs the other guy's door who's trying to slam in the wall, opens his door. Vin Diesel jumps from his car, which is still moving like 100 miles per hour underground, jumps in his car, punches the guy, opens that door, throws him out, chat, and takes over the car while his fucking car explodes on that wall and drives through. Meanwhile, the guy he threw out gets up and goes, and it just... fucking head is just hit by this fender, and he just explodes. He explodes like that guy from RoboCop. The guy gets in the chemicals. He's like, help me, help, just like it's like, oh my god. And all the rest of these guys get killed, chat, by the explosion because they all miss the fucking wall. Eventually, oh, I love it too because they're all shooting at Brian and Vin Diesel, even though that John Ortiz Braga's still in the car. It's like, you're gonna fucking kill him. Eventually, Brian, he gets out of there, but the car all gets destroyed, and it starts, like, flipping on itself, and it crashes, and, Phoenix, he gets out, chat, not Voss, he gets out, and he comes out over the gun, and John Ortiz is like, fucking help me, Jesus Christ, and Phoenix, he grabs him, he drags him out, puts him on the car, he's like that, and he takes out Brian, and the thing is, he's like, just shoot him. Just fucking shoot him. That's what you should be doing. But he's just playing with his food. He's like, you think you can mess with Phoenix, bro? Phoenix and Braga? You can't mess with me, bro. And he just starts like punching and kicking Brian and shit. And apparently, chat, Phoenix's sense of hearing is not great. Here's that ringing. Because Vin Diesel is just coming right at all of them. Just going 120 miles per hour, 140 miles per hour with his fucking car going right at him, chat. And finally, the peripheral vision of Phoenix kicks in, not Voss's kicks in. He looks at him, he sees fucking Vin Diesel, he's like, oh, fucking shit. But fucking Paul Walker grabs his foot and let the last of me, he's like, uh-oh, and he gets stuck. And Vin Diesel goes, boom, and he hits him so hard. He just hits this other car, hits Brian's car. Basically, the top of his body is impaled into the other car, while the bottom half is just underneath the car. He's like, ugh. Like if you were to back up, everything would just fall out of his tum-tum, chat. You know, he's fucking dead. And so Dom got revenge for Letty, chat, for the murder of Letty. And fucking Braga's like, are you kidding me? Eventually, Dom, he gets out of his car, not injured whatsoever, not a fucking scratch on him, chat. Helps Paul Walker. And he's like, just hold pressure right there. You're going to be okay. He's like, Dom, they're coming for us. All the police are coming. All the federales are coming. And he's like, Brian, I ain't running anymore. I ain't running. And he goes, bro. He's like, bro. And they hold each other's hands like this till the police come. We then cut. Braga's arrested. We then cut to court. We cut to federal court. And I don't know what kind of court, what court this is. And, Dom is under trial at this point, and he's going to be read the sentence at and Brian and Mia are there too, and they're in the back. And the judge comes out, and he says, so I want to let everyone know that Brian O'Connor did appeal for Vin Diesel due to his assistance with the capture of notable criminal Braga, the most infamous drug dealer since Pedro Escobar. But this cannot forgive a lifetime of crime, fair enough, of stealing copious amounts of combination DVD, VHS players, and Panasonic TVs. Therefore, Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto, they got him in this, like, the orange jumpsuit, but it's like Vin Diesel's muscles just popping out of this thing. He's very big in this movie. Not like raw dad bod, but no, super muscular, looks great. And he's like, therefore, Dominic Toretto, I am sentencing you to 25 years to life without any eligibility for parole. And they're like, whoa. And Brian is like, they're all upset. And Dom's like, it doesn't matter. Don't matter to me. And then we cut. And we see that Dom is being loaded onto a prison bus of all these prisoners, and they're riding to this penitentiary like in Utah or somewhere, I don't know. And he's just sitting there, he's all sad and shit. But chat, it's not fucking over. It's not fucking over, baby. Because who do we see driving, chat? Right up to the bus in these fucking fancy sports cars, race cars, chat. We got Brian O'Connor. He said, fuck you to the FBI. He's like, I know who my family is now, and I want to keep fucking Mia. And speaking of Mia, chat, she's in her own goddamn speedster. She's driving a car, and also the two Dominican Republic guys, they're in their own car, and they're still arguing, chat. And all these cars drive up right next to the bus, chat, and they're performing the same maneuver they performed earlier in the movie and the original one. And Dom hears that, and he looks at the camera and goes, bro, family, vroom, vroom. And that, my friends, is Fast and Furious 4. There you go. And signaling over. Honestly, chat, listen, there's some dumb moments in this movie, like the whole Campos' Braga thing. It's like, all right, whatever. It's just kind of lame. Phoenix, not Voss. I would have made, I don't know. I don't think he's enough screen time for me to really give a shit about him. He's kind of lame. That was kind of frustrating. There's some wonderful, intentionally funny moments, unintentionally funny moments. But for the most part, I still really enjoy the movie. It's like, at least the villains, I think, just drag down this film. It's like, yeah, they're kind of not all that great. Kind of lame. Not really until Fast 5, where The Rock is technically the villain. Where it's like, okay, this is pretty goddamn good. But overall, chat, this is a really entertaining movie. It's got some fun sequences. Some of them are a little dated because of the CGI. But overall, I really liked it. Again, it's that chemistry. It's that dynamic between the main lead actors. Paul Walker, Vin Diesel, Jordana Brewster, Michelle Rodriguez. Like, it's there. And, like, you see it in spades. And I like when they're together. And that's what was missing, I think, from all the Too Fast, Too Furious and Fast Furious Tokyo Drift. So it's close. Like, I was debating, like, do I like this more than the Fast and the Furious? And it's like, I don't know. It's hard, but I think for right now, I think I gave, like, the Fast and Furious a matinee. I would also give this a matinee, chat. This is a matinee movie. Really enjoyed this. I know this movie is kind of, I still guess I'm an old child from the franchise, and I know it's going to probably get lower and lower as I, review more of these. But I liked it. It's probably my second favorite as of this reviewing series, chat. So it goes The Fast and the Furious, the original one. Fast and Furious, the fourth one. Fast and Furious, Tokyo Drift, and Too Fast, Too Furious, chat. That's my rankings of the 4 Fast and Furious films so far. In terms of villains, the more I think about it, the whole Braga Campos thing, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, the ultimate villain is Logic. Maybe it's Gravity. I don't know. No, it's Logic. Logic's number 1 villain, then Gravity. The truck driver, so the truck driver still counts. I would still put him at 3rd. He's, I would still put him at 3rd. After that, I would still have... Yeah, are they better than... Okay, I'll put... Because at that point, I think I had, like, DK. I think I still had, like, DK there. And DK killed Han, though. He may have been responsible for the death of Han, but not really. So, I don't know. I think I'm going to still... I think I'm going to still stick with DK. And then I'll put Braga, Campos, Phoenix in there. Not Voss. After that, I would put Johnny Tran. And then Crouton. But that would be my rankings, chat, of the villains in Fast and Furious. Tomorrow, chat, we are doing Fast 5, which I'm, like, struggling. Is that my favorite movie? It's very close of 7. Fast 5 is such a fun action movie. It's really hard for me to see. I think 7's still my favorite, but Fast 5 is very close. Out of the 5, it's definitely this one. Jason, think of the Biddy. Damn it, I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. Oh, you rate Too Fast, Too Furious? I think I give like a low rental. It's not bullshit. It's just like, yeah, it has some good stuff in it, but it's not that great. I give it a low rental. 5 out of 5. I wasn't paying attention. Really? Oh, Naya, I thought you would like this one. Oh, no, more Basement Tyrese. Don't worry, he comes back. This is the one where they bring back Ludacris, and somehow he became a hacker in that 5-year gap period, or however long it's been since Too Fast, Too Furious. They bring back Tyrese Gibson. They bring back Han. And they have Gal Gadot as Gazelle. But this is when they bring in fucking The Rock, chat. And he's technically, and he's sweaty. I think this might be the biggest he's ever been in his life. And he's technically the villain of the movie. I mean, he's the good guy, but he's also the villain. But yeah, I love it. Got one more day off my watch review. Yes, again. Yes, indeed. Went to Hackett School. Okay, watching Hackers a bunch of times. Hack the Planet, Ludacris. Taj, chat. And he spits a lot. He does spit a lot. You're right. Thank you for the 5 days. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. That was a fun one. I like that one, chat. Still a bust. This is one where I was like, I have no clue what Herman's gonna fall in. I liked it. It's funny because this film is kind of, yeah, it's always the middle child. It might end up being the middle child of this review series, but as of right now, I think it's the second best one. I had a lot of fun with it. It's close second too. I was like, do I like this more than the first one? It's close. I thought Too Fast, Too Furious was a low rental and Tokyo Drift is a high rental. Yeah, I think I get the same thing. I like them more watching them with you today than I did before. Oh, thank you, Jason. Yeah, no, like Tokyo Drift, like the biggest problem with Tokyo Drift is the Lucas Black is just ridiculous in the film. Like he is so unintentionally funny. It's like I cannot take you seriously, but it has great stuff in it. Like I love how they showcase Tokyo. The cinematography is great. The choreography and for all the car races and the chase scenes are very good. Like I like all that. Han is such a great character. It's just Lucas Black that really brings it down, but also kind of elevates it at the same time. It's weird. I have a love-hate relationship with that movie. Too Fast, Too Furious is just kind of boring. Yeah. Yeah, that's just me. My theory is that Han got saved by Jason Statham's character and he just lied and said he killed him. We'll find out with F9. I'm very curious how they're going to handle it. I think he just has one of those super suits that we saw in Hobbs and Shaw. I don't know. I have no idea. Who's more reliable as a hacker, Ludacris or Chris Hemsworth? I think Ludacris. I would go Ludacris. Fair enough. And knows how to shoot his action. He does. And the action here, I liked it. It's like, it's a little bit, again, it's dated because there's some CGI stuff. Like the tunnel stuff is all CGI, obviously. And you can tell, it's like, all right, need some more rendering. But it's entertaining. It's entertaining. They're having fun. This is my favorite Fast and Furious movie. You like the KD? You think of 5 days? No, it's my second favorite as of this review series. Like, it's interesting. I don't know why people hate this film so much. Like, there's people that either like, yeah, it's a middle child, which eventually I guess it would be when we get to like 5, 6, and 7, which I'll really, really enjoy. But I know some people that really dislike this one. I was like, I don't really understand why. I think it's fun. Jason, Tokyo Drift is a good soundtrack. I agree. That as of right now, that is a bit. Like this one's fine. What I said, Too Fast, Too Furious was some bullshit. Tokyo Drift was low rental. I think before I was being harsh. So yes, low rental, and I agree with that. I don't think there's any bullshit movies in the like some bullshit movies in the Fast and Furious franchise. Yeah, I mean, Too Fast, Too Furious is one I would probably never watch again. I was like, I don't need to ever see this movie again. Tokyo Drift is one I would watch with a person because there's just so much funny stuff in it that I'm like, okay, we gotta watch this. Mom didn't like it, Duma? Chris, think of the and I think Lynn was aware of the CG complaints with this because he had a mandate on 5 games much in camera. Yes, and I just remember the action being really goddamn good in 5. That's when, like, 5 is when Justin Lin really hits his stride. Like, he was, all right, you're doing better. You're doing better. It's more tame than Tokyo Drift. But yeah, I'm glad. He used a lot more practical stuff in the next movie. Lately, I don't like the Fast Saga, but I seriously respect what Justin Lin turned it into. I do too. Like, yeah, more power to him. He referenced the NBC Saturday sitcom universe when making Final Fantasy 4 or Fast Furious 4. I love that. I think Lin as a director is the best thing to come out of the franchise. Yeah, I agree. No, he some people say, because I know some people are like, it's not about the cars anymore. But I'm like, I was never a car guy when I grew up. I was like, I don't really care. And I liked that it became more action focused and because so 5, it's interesting. Really by 5 and 6, they're street racers / robbers through most in 1 and in 4. 5 and 6, they really become like professional thieves, like international thieves. 7 when they become fucking secret agents. 7, 8, they are like James Bond secret agents. And 9, I think, is when they become superheroes. Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw, they are legitimately demigod. They are. At that point, it's like logic, gravity does no apply. Physics, fuck physics. It's out the window. Make it action focused, offers more narrative possible. Exactly. And I think the franchise is better off for it. I just love seeing this evolution because 4 is when you really start to notice, like, okay, you can see how Lin was formulating this, and it's like, okay, it's still racing, but it's getting a lot more ridiculous at the same time, and it's like, all right, yeah, I'm in space. They're literally in space. Again, chat, this franchise started with them stealing DVD VHS players, and now they're in space. It's fucking nuts. Not just Miles, fascinating. Yeah, they fight a literal Terminator in Hobbs and Shaw. I'm the Black Superman. as Idris Elba once said. Hobbs & Shaw just channel the bad receiver Arnold films. Yes, it is. It's the best of. Like, I really like Hobbs & Shaw. I've only seen it once since the theater. I'm very interested to see it again. Thank you, sir. The 5 base. I was also aware they really started emphasizing the comedy. Yeah, the dynamic with the family gets really good. It gets like like it's this one is kind of like the dynamic they had in the first one, which I liked a lot. But 5 is one's like, okay, I love just the relationships and the quirks everyone has of each other, how they talk to each other. You're right. And Lynn said directing the community helped him with that. Yeah, clearly. Season movies is a live-action version of a cheesy Saturday morning cartoon in the 90s. Oh, yeah. No, I could definitely see that. The best of the best of those 90s cheesy cartoons. Or 80s even. I agree. I've always took a drift. Naya, you gotta watch the other ones. And shit, I did do an audio and video commentary for Fast and Furious. It'll probably be uploaded either tonight or tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for that. I don't know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm going to take a quick break, my friends. This is a really fun one. I'm going to refill my beverage. I'm going to come back. We're going to do a couple polls, and then we're going to get into some Mass Effect 2 shenanigans.